Hey everyone. I've been doing a little bit of research on the Pope's new friends in Israel lately to see just who it is he's working with to create that United Nations for Religions. I found this article from back in June of this year. Where did I put it up here? Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, this is the one that's from back in June 13th of this year. And the headline is, of course, Pope condemns religious fundamentalism, Middle East violence, right? Scroll down a little bit. You'll see what he says right here. It says, following his first visit to the Middle East as Pope last month, the pontiff criticized fundamentalism in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism as a form of violence. Now, what is the definition of fundamentalism as it is defined today in today's world? Well, if you go to freedictionary.com, or actually any dictionary online, its first definition is an ecclesiastical term, which means Christianity, and then in parentheses it says, especially among certain Protestant sects, the belief that every word of the Bible is divinely inspired and therefore true. That means the Pope is once again adhering to the Vatican's well-documented historic hatred of the Scriptures. If you're a Christian with a strong belief in the Bible, according to this Pope and every Pope before him, you are dangerous. In fact, they consider you a terrorist worthy of death. I just did a video about how the Jesuits were granted power to kill Christians back in June in regards to all this. And you can get it, of course, on YouTube or at john1429.org. But there's the title for the video. It's just Jesuits granted global power to kill true believers. And it's not just Christians that they claim to have the power to kill. They kill anybody that has a fundamentalist view in their Bibles, whether it's Christian or not. And then back in September of 1999, I did a newsletter. Where is it? Right here, where it's titled Vatican Declares Scriptures Dangerous. I did a radio spot on this as well. And here's a statement that John Paul II made. And it starts right about here. It says, well, actually, this whole article is more or less his comments, but it says, the fundamentalist approach is dangerous, for it is attractive to people who look to the Bible for ready answers to the problems of life. Fundamentalism actually invites people to a kind of intellectual suicide. A fundamentalist interpretation of the Bible during the Reformation, when Protestants showed an increasing concern for fidelity to the literal meaning of Scripture. Now, yeah, it seems odd that a so-called Christian leader would, and by the way, John Paul II was just canonized as a saint by the Vatican, and it just seems odd that he would declare it to be dangerous for you to believe the Bible as it is written, but prophecy does define the popes as antichrist, so this is to be expected. I also have a page on the website called The Words of the Beast. And where did I put? Okay, here it is. And on this page, I have all sorts of statements from the Vatican, as well as prelates of Rome and their church leaders and whatnot. But if you scroll down to this one here, quotes on the popes hating the Bible. And again, I didn't make this stuff up. It's all well-sourced. This is what the Vatican believes. It says here, this first one I'll read, it says, the decree set forth in the year 1229 AD by the Council of Valencia places Bible on the index of forbidden books. The doctrine withholds it is forbidden for laymen, or the common man, to read the Old and New Testaments. We forbid them most severely to have the above books in the popular vernacular. The lords of the districts shall carefully seek out the heretics in dwellings, hovels, and forests, and even their underground retreats shall be entirely wiped out. This next quote I'll read, and there's a lot of them on here. I'm not going to read them all. But the next one says, the Church Council of Tarragona ruled that no one may possess the books of the Old and New Testaments in the Romance language, and if anyone possesses them, he must turn them over to the local bishop within 8 days after the promulgation of this decree, so they may be burned. And this last one is from 1866. That previous one was 1910, but 1866, Pope Pius IX said, socialism, communism, clandestine societies, Bible societies, pests of this sort must be destroyed by all means. And so a Bible society is considered a pest by the Vatican. And it gets a lot worse and a lot more graphic on this page in regards to some of the statements that the Vatican has stated over the years. And it's just something you might want to check out on my Words of the Beast page. You might now be able to see why we have been warning people for decades as to why the Vatican leads and educates the Muslim people so as to move them to kill so many Christians. And yes, the Vatican did invent Islam. A lot of people say I'm talking through my hat there, but we've got documentation on the website. If you just go to remedytogod.org, go to the RCC Exposed. Just go to the Pope and Islam. right here. And when you scroll down, go to the links. I think it's, go to the links. And one of them here is this one here. It's an actual PDF file. If I click it with this browser, it's just going to ask me to download. So when you get a chance, check out that document. It's all well sourced. They have been caught. In fact, the man that exposed the fact that they invented Islam and actually wrote the Quran was murdered for his testimonies. And he was a priest. He used to be a Jesuit priest. He left the order, of course, and then exposed Rome. So we now have documented proof that the Vatican led and educated the Muslim people, and this is why so many Christians are being killed today. Just as the prophecy said, Vatican would start killing again, but just like they did in Hitler's day or even during the Inquisition, they always used different people to do the killing. While in the Inquisition, they were doing it mostly on their own, out in the open, but a lot of times they would use the civil authorities. But in Hitler's day, they used Hitler. In our day, they're using Islam. So just as easy as we see our children in the USA being indoctrinated in the school system to believe all sorts of crazy things, the Muslims have been doing the same thing with their children for decades. Now that the killing of the Christians has gone literally off the charts to the point where over 200,000 Christians are being killed every year now, it allows the Pope to finally stake the claim that the only way to stop all the violence is to outlaw any Bible-believing faith from spreading. The prophet Daniel wasn't kidding when he said this beast would be crafty. I hope and pray that you were blessed by what was shared in this video. Please share this video as many as possible. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching. God bless.